Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another triumphant broadcast. We have not officially started the show for tonight, but we want to give you just a moment to share this broadcast. We have an awesome Monday to Remember show on tonight that is live. And if you are coming on and listening or viewing on one of our replay nights, we are thankful that you are just taking out the time to listen to the Triumphant Show. So go ahead and invite your friends and family. We're going to give it about 3 or 4 minutes for people to come and join the broadcast on tonight. So we're really excited to be with you again. I have an awesome guest. I'm so excited, but I'll go into that later. So we're just going to give you a few moments to come in onto the broadcast and to do just what I'm doing now, which is sharing the broadcast with friends and family so that we can all wind down our Memorial Day with the memory to remember. So just take a few minutes and come on board. And as you're coming on, I can see when you come on. And if you make comments, I will definitely give you a shout out as I am viewing the platform now. Hopefully everybody's having a good Memorial Day. And we're just going to give it a few minutes so you can come on into the broadcast. Just take a few moments here. Just a few more minutes here. Again, if you are just coming aboard, we have not officially started. We are preparing to start. So take this time to share the broadcast and prepare for an awesome triumphant show on tonight. So excited. We have a lot to talk about. It is definitely a Queen's night. So come on in and share the broadcast. All right. There we go. Hey, Brian. Thanks for chiming in all the way from the West Coast. Good to see you. I got to catch your broadcast. I promise. I promise. I promise. I promise. All right, everybody, come on and chime in today. I think we are on. Chime on in. Oh, hello. Hey, my babe. Hi, Renisa. Thank you guys for joining in tonight. Thank you for always supporting. Thank you so much. It means so much. Thank you so much. We're going to get started in just a moment. I'm going to pick my guest back up. Let's see. I can get her back in here. Yes, I got her back in here. Yay! That's what we do, okay? That's what queens do. We disappear, but then we show right back up right on time.
Yes.
That's what we do. All right, everybody, I'm going to give it about another minute for you to come on into the triumphant room and enjoy the broadcast that we're about to do on tonight. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Good evening, Matt Cummings. Thank you for joining. As always, so appreciate you. All right. In about another 30 seconds, we will officially start the show. So take your shoes off if they're not already off. It is a Memorial Day, but a Memorial Day weekend. And I'm praying that everybody has had a blessed, day today. About 15 more seconds and we're going to get started with the show. I have some announcements to start first and then we'll go into everything. But I'm super excited to be with you all again tonight. Just love the Triumphant family. I just love the Triumphant family. Y'all are the best. Praise God. All right, just about 10 more seconds here. Making sure everything chimes on. We're almost there. All right, there we go. Just a moment here. All right, we are going to get started. I think we are ready to go. Looks like we were freezing just a little bit. I think we're okay. All right, we are ready to go. Listen, welcome everybody to another triumphant broadcast. I am your host, Sharita Lovelace, and as always, I am super excited to spend another Monday with you and just to share with you how God gets the victory over and over again. I mean, this truly is the place where victory repeats itself. As you know, that is our motto, that this is the place where victory repeats itself. No matter what we go through, no matter what we think we are facing or experiencing, God always comes through for us. We get the victory. And it is just, it feels good, you know, even when you're going through something and then all of a sudden God just steps in like on time or when you least expect it. It's just an amazing feeling. So I just thank God for you that are taking out just a few minutes of your time to listen and watch and join the triumphant family. And just to share the goodness of God and to hear and share and swap stories of what God is doing to men and women across the globe. So I am just happy that you are here on tonight. I want to wish everyone a happy Memorial Day. I want to let every veteran know that we honor you. We thank God for you. And I pray that this is a day that you will just have joy knowing that people are still praying for you as you continue your life, outside of whatever you do in terms of a vet, if you are still involved in the military services. We just thank God for you. On today. We honor you on today. And really, we honor you every day. You probably need a special hour every day of the week because the things that I've heard that people go through when you're in the service, it takes a special chosen one. And God chose you. And I just want to say well done and thank you. And today we honor you, those of you that are veterans. Again, thank you everyone that is joining the show tonight. I have about 4 announcements before we get into my awesome guest. And I'll share a little bit about, I don't even want to say she's my guest. I call her my little sister. She doesn't know that, but she is because she's quite younger than I am. Yes. But she is just an awesome woman of God. She truly is. And just brings joy and light to a room that, you just wouldn't expect. Everybody just carries something, and there's something about her that she carries that no one can take away, but you see it, and it's beautiful. But listen, let me give you a couple of announcements before we get started. I first want to give a shout out to every graduate of 2020, including my guests. We'll get to that. But every graduate of 2020, congratulations to you. I know this definitely is going to be a year that you will never forget because you've had to have an alternate way of receiving your diplomas, I'm sure, and being acknowledged as a graduate and being acknowledged of your studies. And that's for every level of education. So congratulations to all of the graduates of 2020. I also want to remind you that if you have not already, make sure that you register for a phenomenal conference coming in June called Neology. Oh my God. I don't have words that really can describe or the time this conference, but just saying that I've had experience with it. It only took me 1 year to go and to know that it's truly a move of God. It's something that I don't think anybody else on the earth is doing. So go to neology.live. I believe I'm saying the email address correct to register and to see the awesome guest. But aside from all that, when I say God shows up and shows out, God shows up and shows out. And here on the Triumphant Show, we don't just advertise or share just because. We do it when we really see the move of God and when we really see where that transformation and it's not man. And so please go out. Your life will be changed. There are tracks not just for children, but they're for adults. For youth and everyone. So definitely go out to do that. If you've missed last week's replay, please go to Triumphant Radio on tomorrow. You can check the local listings on the flyer that's been posted at Sharita Lovelace Ministries or Sharita Lovelace to listen if you are in the UK, if you're in Nigeria. And also there will be a playing at Vision TV. So continue to follow, like, and share Sharita Lovelace Ministries on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. so you can catch those replays. Because sometimes when you hear a story like tonight, you want to hear it one more time. And so last week, again, was another triumphant story that you definitely want to hear. And then I want to give a shout out to Jackie Robinson. She's my sister, my college friend. We have a lot of history. And this girl did a facial with me, with Mary Kay. And it was probably the best facial I've ever had. So I wanted to share with those of you that are in this quarantine season and you want to make sure you're still taking care of your natural hair, your skin, etc. Definitely go to marykay.com/Jackie, JACQUI, Denise, DENISE 71. You can also Facebook inbox her at JACQUI, Jackie Robinson, or you can text her at 678-939-6688 for Mary Kay. And again, if here on the Triumphant Show, we are not connected or we're not sure or whatnot, we don't speak on it. So whatever I share with my Triumphant family, it's because we definitely believe that you will be blessed from the announcements that we share, the products that we share. And if you too have something that you want us to share, you can email me at Sharita Lovelace Ministries, and we'll send you an application for your ad to be voiced not only on this broadcast live, but also through the other global media partners that we are connected with so that they can hear your product, your story, or if you just want to be a guest and you have a triumphant story, make sure you send me an email. I would love to talk with you again at Sharita Lovelace Ministries or SharitaLovelace@gmail.com so that we can get you on the show. Amen. So tonight is just the night that we want to get to. And I'm excited about my guest tonight. Let me tell you, I had the awesome privilege of being one of the, I'm just going to call it leadership positions, even though at the time I was a national director, but I'm going to call it that for now. Appointed by Day Edwards, beautiful, awesome woman of God, to assist for the Miss Black and Natural pageant in 2019. And I had a phenomenal experience, met some beautiful girls, and learned a lot. And it was great for me being a former continual, pageant participant and the former Miss Black California and former Miss Black USA finalist. And so just been really excited to share and consult in the pageant industry, young ladies and et cetera, and even wrote a book that was connected to pageantry, Sleeping Beauty, Dream Again, which dealt a little bit. There's some touches in there about when you are crowned as a queen and things that happen, and when you're a woman of God and how that crown impacts your walk. And if you're going to carry the weight or if you're going to carry the weight according to the world. And so that's a whole nother story. But tonight in Flesh and Blood, we have the reigning Miss Black and Natural, Brianna Brishe McField, here in the Triumphant Studio. Welcome, Brianna. Happy you're here. So happy to have you. You are the reigning Miss Black and Natural national queen. So you are the queen of queens right now. And you've done a phenomenal job during your reign. And what I love about what you have done is that you have just continued to be who you are. You've taken it up a notch to another level. And that's what we're to do. We don't just take something and we just sit on it. God doesn't give us a gift and we sit, we go, we do, we serve. And that's what you've been doing. So you have been representing the Miss Black and Natural industry very well as a natural sister. So I'm honored to have you on the show tonight. I do want to share a little bit of the Triumphant family about you before we begin, just to have a conversation on tonight so that they can know who you are. And Triumphant family, I just want you to know that this woman of God is a woman of God. And although, we look at certain industry activities as, quote, industry, we're called to infiltrate. We're called to bring Christ. We're called to bring kingdom and to continue to walk according to the will of God. And so I want to congratulate Brianna, because she has received not only her master's this year, Master's of Public Health this year from Jackson State University. So we congratulate you. So Triumphant Family, make sure that you are sending her some comments in the comment section to congratulate her for getting her Master's of Public Health. And I know she's not finished with what she's doing in that arena. And there's more to come with her with that. And what I love about what Brianna is doing, she wants to inspire young girls. And so she has a platform where, and I'm going to read in quotes what it is. And Brianna, later you can go into this. Realizing the queen within, entering your queendom. And this was created following her crowning in April of 2018, because in 2018, she was Miss Mississippi Black and Natural. So she won in the state of Mississippi prior to coming and competing in the national pageant that we were all at in 2019 in Texas. And then she did her thing. And she won that crown of 2019 Miss Black and Natural National. I love her motto. And so I want to share this family with you all as well. And that is learn and achieve today, lead and inspire tomorrow. Let me say that again, because that's awesome. Learn and achieve today. Learn, because every day we can learn and achieve something. Once we got that baton, we lead and we inspire others. So lead and inspire tomorrow. That is her motto. I love it. And I want to give a shout out to her pastor. Shout out to Bishop Lionel Traylor and First Lady Prophetess LaShawn Traylor. Brianna is a member of Epicenter Church in Jackson, Mississippi, where she is very active with the music, youth, and dance ministry. Shout out to the dancers. Yay. Woo! Woo! So when I tell you all, this is a very active young lady in what she does. She's serious about it. In high school, she was high school valedictorian. She is just a wealth of gifts, a wealth of knowledge, and she is demonstrating that she wants to give back and serve, and so much more. There's still more to her that we have not seen, but tonight she's on our platform. Brianna, I want you to share with the Triumphant family first and foremost. Explain your experience, and then we're going to go back. But first, explain your experience when you won the title of Miss Black and Natural National in 2019. What was that like for you?
Oh my goodness. It was so exciting. Number one, because in the beauty industry and the pageant industry, sometimes there's this lean towards a specific person or a specific picture. And I do not fit that picture by any means. So it was definitely exciting for me, but that was why I chose the pageant industry, Black and Natural, because I knew I could be exactly who I was without being afraid of maybe they want to accept me because I'm not a size 2, or maybe they want to accept me because my hair is natural, or maybe they want to accept me because I am the church girl. So it was definitely exciting. It was great. It was a great platform to actually show Kingdom on, really. And it's been awesome ever since.
Wow, that's awesome. And I love how you talked about in terms of being accepted. I guess it's been 24 years since I won my second pageant. And during that time, weight was an issue. So everything you're talking about was an issue. I remember telling people how my pageant coach had me on Coke, and I think I shared this with you all in Texas, Coca-Cola and Sportskins, because it would make me full. And I wouldn't eat as much to fit into a 3-4. But now when you have directors like Day Edwards come along and say, no, you know what? Beauty, that's not what defines us as beauty. And here you are, you're stepping out confident as who you are. You model yourself, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you model yourself and you're excellent at it. And when I tell you the confidence that you carry, I believe is really impacting so many women, young and old, in America, because we need more young ladies like you that say, you know what, beauty is just knowing who you are, your identity. When you know your identity, nothing else matters. And I think because you carry that spirit also, that's why you won as well, not just because you were great in every segment and did an awesome job, and all the girls did fantastic, by the way. And I know it was tough for the judges, but I love the confidence that you carry and having a pageant like Miss Black and Natural. And so clarify for the viewers and listeners, are you a natural sister in your hair?
Yes, I am a natural
Okay.
sister in my hair. I have a protective style in right now.
Come on now. All right, girl.
But I'm all natural.
That's right. That's right. I love it. And natural and beautiful. I love it. And so what do you think right now as you are moving along in the, your reign will soon come to an end at the end of this year. What are some things that you feel that you have learned in the pageant industry or just being the reigning queen right now? What are some things that you've learned?
I have learned what it truly means to be a queen. I kind of tell people all the time that when I became a queen, I didn't know what it was going to do for me, but it has actually been very spiritual for me, because on this process of becoming queen, I've been becoming the queen that God ordained me to be.
Yeah, that's good.
And so it's been an entire, for me, healing process ever since I got the crown.
Ooh,
and so good. I've been learning step by step how to become an actual queen or become a better queen, or just really tap into who I am and make sure that I'm spreading the kingdom on each platform that I'm on. Like, it's not just the crown, but it's who I was called to be and who I was ordained to be. And so it's just really been a healing process of like, this is what makes you a queen. Wholeness makes you a queen. Being healed makes you a queen. And I was like, oh, wow, this has been a journey. And I'm just grateful that God's using my journey to bless other young ladies.
Yeah, that is a phenomenal answer. I love your answer because so many people that are not really connected in the pageant industry or the aftermath of what that queen does, they think it's just about beauty. They think it's just about the outer appearance and so forth. But we have something, like you said, a process that takes place that God does with us, because it's almost like when he crowns us, there's an expectation and accountability that we have to carry forth. And the question is, do we carry forth according to man's standards, or do we continue to step out, being bold and brave and confident of who we are, and carry it according to the kingdom standards that God's given us? Because I believe that what God gives us, no man can take away. So as you've gotten that crown and walked as a woman of God, God won't let anybody take that away as you profess who he is and what's been going on with you. And by that, you are setting so many free. I think that's beautiful. Now, prior to going into the pageant industry, growing up, did you have any trials or situations in your life that concerned you, but eventually led you into the pageant industry?
I guess I could say that probably my just entire life and entire childhood really led to my queendom. I realized at a certain point that around undergraduate age that I was dealing with a lot of issues within myself that I hadn't dealt with. And so beginning to actually deal with those issues that they have come from certain childhood things, or certain things that have transpired over time, dealing with those issues is what led me to walking into my queendom. Like, okay, I need to be healed from this. I have daddy issues. Okay. I kind of need to deal with that. Or I have this going on and I have these anger issues going on. I really need to get to the root of that. And so it was kind of those things that built up over time throughout childhood that actually allowed me to say, okay, I'm going to walk into this new area of queendom. Wow. And it's going to be a healing process. And literally as soon as I got the crown, I was even going through a season when I was crowned Miss Black and Natural Mississippi, and I was going through a season, and in that season, even though I had a crown, I didn't feel like a queen. I couldn't see my worth. I couldn't see my value. I couldn't see who I was. And so in the middle of I'm getting this crown and I'm supposed to be this voice or this beacon for this group of people, but I can't walk in this false way if I'm not able to say, okay, I can look in the mirror and I can say, I believe in my worth. I believe in myself. I believe in my value. How am I going to impart that to other young ladies or young women or what have you? So it's been an entire process. Like, okay, I'm going to heal you from this. I'm going to make you whole from this. And so just the entire childhood experience leading up into the crown, like even now, like, God's been blowing my mind. But yeah, it's crazy.
It's almost like you've broken out of some type of I don't want to say shell, but I'm going to say shell. Something has broken off of you as God has matriculated you through the pageant industry from being crowned in Mississippi initially before the national title. And a lot of people don't understand. And I love what you're saying right now. Excellent response, because it's almost a weight that we carry when that crown gets on our head. And I always think about when Jesus, they put that crown of thorns on his head, that pain, but yet he finished the process. He kept on the journey. He endured and he finished the race. And that's what you're doing. You're saying, listen, and family, I hope you're hearing this. There's some things that I struggled or I battled with prior to. And then that crown came on my head. It illuminated those situations, but I finished the journey. I'm still going in the journey. I'm making progress in the race. Things are getting better. And that's what it sounds like to me. Would you say that there is a weight, and sometimes it is something that we have to self-heal or be self-aware when we get that crown on our head? What do you think about that?
Yes, it's definitely a weight, because sometimes there's just this stigma attached to the crown that, okay, we're only concerned with looking pretty, and we're only concerned with making ourselves look a certain way when we're in front of people. But when you really have a weight and you understand the responsibility of the crown, not just the beauty of the crown, but the responsibility of the crown. Now I'm on a platform. I have a purpose platform, and I'm supposed to accomplish something while I'm on this platform. So there's a way to say, okay, what am I going to accomplish while I'm on this platform? Because I can't just be cute and I can't just be pretty, because what would be the purpose? I could do that without a crown.
Yeah,
but the crown is what it enhances my voice. I already have a voice, but the crown is just another means that enhances my voice, gives me another platform to show who I am and be an inspiration to others.
Right. That's awesome. And so during those years, while you were Miss Black and Natural Mississippi, up until the time that you won the title in Texas for Miss Black and Natural National, what is the most memorable, let me say, experience or appearance that you have had to make that you feel has been most impactful to women, girls, whomever, the church, whomever, anything impactful since you have won these positions that you can think about? So when you go back after this year's over and tell your story, what are some things you can think about and share that has been a blessing as you've been the reigning queen?
I would say it's been a blessing to kind of just be a queen in my everyday life. And every time I impart it to someone doesn't mean I have to have on this sash or that I have to have on this crown. So just watching me be able to give nuggets of wisdom to individuals on a daily basis, just as I'm growing as a queen. I would also say having the opportunity to do like the Mommy and Me Tea Party and actually talk to young ladies about their futures and why it's important to get an education and why it's important to strive for greatness, and just to watch them light up, because you may not think that you're big, but to some little girl, when they see you in a crown, it's something that lights up on their face. And they're like, oh my gosh, a queen is in my presence. And you might not think you're that big or you're that great or you're that grand, but for them, it's like everything. And so just being able to impart to them. And also, I'll have to say one of my favorite events that I have done would have to be the service for the graduates at Evangelist Temple Church. Number one, because I got to kind of mix all of my passions together and had the kind of had the ministry portion in it while also being the queen portion. So that has been like probably my favorite. Being able to talk to those graduates, and just when somebody requests you and you're not sure when people see you or how they see you, and then when they come to you and they're like, I want you for this, you're like, wait, you want me?
Right.
You sure?
Are you sure?
What happened? What happened? Like, I'm just, I'm okay. But so that probably has been that has definitely been my favorite one. So
yeah, that's beautiful. Do you feel like you have been treated differently since you've worn the crown? Whether it's in the church or whether it's just out in society where you're doing all these public appearances, do you feel you've been treated differently, whether good or bad?
I won't necessarily say treated differently. Of course, we always know there's some people that aren't going to always be for you or always support you. And that's fine. I mean, the journey has been so super crazy. I have lost people along the way, and I won't say just because of the crown, but I will say, it was necessary
There
for
you
me to
go.
come up to my next. So it was necessary for me to be elevated. It was necessary for me to heal. So I'll say that. I won't say it's just simply because of the crown, but sometimes when God is taking you, everybody can't go with you, and it doesn't
Right,
make them a bad person or a bad individual. Everybody's just not meant for your journey. And
right.
sometimes God has to isolate you and separate you from people so he can really deal with you and then put you in a place where you have to be and put you in proper position. So,
Yes,
yeah.
that's beautiful. I love how you just said about how God has to isolate you and separate you and put you in position, because that's just what he did with you. And he does that. And it's amazing how when we don't think we're worthy of kind of what you were just talking about, going to an event or being the special appearance at an event or being invited somewhere, God just gives us something, some equipment, some anointing, some tool in the spiritual realm for us to do that event as if we were pros. I mean, because, you may have been invited to the mayor's office and you're like, what's the etiquette there? I have to eat with a fork on this side of that. I mean, what's the etiquette? Somebody tell me, or whatever. And you get there, but something happens. The Holy Spirit takes over and you just become a light to them. And then it continues to, reflect on others, and you're a magnet. People become attracted to you. And so I love that, how God will put you in position, and that's what he does. And I think when young ladies, and those of you that are young ladies that are in the pageant industry or have been, definitely get coaching and consultation. We do it. Okay. Because it's something, there's so much more than just putting that crown on. It's so much more nowadays. I see so many posts talking about fix the other girl's crown, and when her crown is tipping, don't talk about her or whatever. Yes, that's true. But when you really talk about going into the industry where there's a crown related, you're wearing a sash, which is now a title, and it is broadcast around the world, not just your state, but around the world. There's a level of weight and accountability with that. And depending on your level of maturity, and how much you can handle the weight and the pressure of the changes, just what you just talked about, Brianna, and the weight will depend on how you're going to survive. But I believe that God set up this as a platform for our next. I believe that what you're doing now is a setup for your next that's even higher and greater and grander. And even if you don't see it now, you will see it. And so I know one thing that you said that I read about your platform called Realizing the Queen Within, Entering Your Queendom. What does that mean? Share with us how you felt when you said that. Are you creating something, or is there something created that is for these young people that need you continually, even after it's all said and done, when you take that crown and give it to another winner?
So realizing the queen within really just means understanding and realizing your God-given identity, and
Awesome.
understanding that God already created me a queen. I really just have to tap into it and kind of walk into it. And
Mhm.
and that I coined that because that was kind of the process that I was going through. And it was like
Ah,
I had to realize the queen within. Like, you don't just become a queen overnight just because they put a crown on your head.
come
There
on
was
now.
something already inside of you. Like, there was something already inside of you waiting to be birthed, and that was
Yeah.
going to be the characteristics of your queen. Like, there are already characteristics in you that qualify you to be a queen. There are things in you that qualify you to be a queen, and the crown doesn't do that. It's already something that's there. And I just wanted other young ladies, because I know I struggled a lot, like I said earlier, with like worth and value, self-esteem, and just understanding who I was, and being free in who I was. And so understanding that, I had to realize the queen within. And so I wanted other young ladies realize that there's a queen in there, baby. And nobody can tell you your worth. Like, you validate yourself, you validate your own worth. And I know sometimes we say, well, I'm not going to be the type of female that loses herself, or I'm not going to be the type of female that loses her worth. But it can happen so quickly. And sometimes you can idolize something that you don't want to be so much that it ends up becoming you. And you don't even realize that it's becoming you. You don't even understand until you look up one day and you say, I became her.
Yeah.
And I woke up one day and I was disappointed with myself because I became the woman that I never wanted to become. But then I had to realize there was already a queen on the inside of me, and I had to enter into my queendom in order for me to flourish, and enter into my queendom in order for me to get exactly where God wants me to be.
I tell you, Mississippi, y'all are lucky to have this anointed vessel in y'all state. I just want y'all to know that. And you're going to be a tough act to follow as the pageant moves forward. And so I'm excited that you have this marker here in history and just what you shared. That is phenomenal. I love how you just talked about some people get lost because they do. And just what you said, that just because the crown comes on your head, that's not what makes you the queen. There's so much more. God pulls that out of you and he nurtures it and he grows it. When we think about Queen Esther in the Bible, how she saved a nation and she stopped and prayed and fasted before she approached the king. I always think of that as a preparation process that she went through before she spoke and did something. And when she did things in order and in obedience, and she sought the will of God, seek ye first the kingdom, she then went to the king at that point with bravery and courage, and she became the queen at that point. Not only did she become the queen, so much more was added to her life. So what you just shared is just an example of how God will cultivate and help you in that season to prepare you, to strengthen you so that you can become that crown. You are the crown. You don't have to have the crown really on your head. You are the crown. You are the strength. You are the diamond in the crown. Come on, somebody. You are the pearls in the crown. You even got some thorns in the crown. But guess what? Many are the afflicted, but God delivers us out of them all.
Amen.
And so I just believe that if we walk and if we teach, we will have another level of strength for those young ladies and women that are your age and younger that go through the pageant industry. They will have a different level of understanding and strength. And we can teach some mamas what some of this is about and how it can impact their future. Do you feel that, this gets me to a point, that you have, because of this, it's going to impact your future? Is there a way that the impact may be a challenge? Or do you feel that it's going to be okay from this point on, from being in pageants?
Of course, I believe this entire queendom is going to impact my future. Ironically, when I was crowned Miss Black and Natural Mississippi, the following Sunday, I was in my first lady's office, and she said, "This is not just a pageant for you." And she began to just speak life into me about that crown and say it's going to do more things for you. It's going to open more doors for you. And I didn't understand what she meant at the time because it was basically like, oh, it's going to be a spiritual thing. Like, it's going to be a whole person thing. And so I didn't understand what she was saying at the time. But, my first lady being the prophetess that she is,
Right.
she hears from heaven.
Come on.
But so she told me all these things. And when I tell you, I have slowly but surely seen it be something so great for me. And I really just believe like this is really just the beginning, even though I'll be giving up my reign pretty soon. But I really believe it's just the beginning. And I really believe that it was a preparation for something greater.
Yeah. That's phenomenal. And I'm so thankful. And even I want to give a shout out to your mother, because your mother made sure that everything was on point with you throughout this process, especially when I was there, while we were there. And so I thank God for her. And it's obvious that she has done everything she can and still does to make sure you keep going on an awesome track just in your life, because that's what it's about. And what's important to me is I want those that felt that they lost, whether you feel like you lost in a pageant, whether you feel like you lost in something, to realize that there's a loss in almost everything. It's how we handle the loss and move forward determines if we can win again or go to a winning season. And we all can go to a winning season because God is triumphant. He's victorious over and over again. So even what looks like a loss, if you participated in the 2019 pageant and you did not win, or any pageant for that matter, you did not win, it's actually a setup for your winning season.
Right.
You didn't lose anything. You may have not gotten some of the things that the actual winner got, but God is just setting you up for something else. You know, and so we're all winners in the end, And so I think things like that are important, especially for the younger ones, to understand and to consider as they move forward in life. I want to talk about church real quick. You're involved in different ministries as a queen, a reigning queen. Tell us about what you're doing in the church.
Oh, what am I doing in the church? Okay, of course, I'm on the praise team. I'm in the choir. I'm on the dance team, and I do youth and young adult ministry in my church. So
That's
I stay
awesome.
pretty busy. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, that is awesome. Now, and I want the people, those of you that are listening and watching tonight, once again, we're talking to the reigning Miss Black and Natural National Queen. She won in 2019, and we're just hearing her story and just want to highlight her, bless her, support her. She's also a recent graduate with her Master's of Public Health this year from Jackson State University. And so we just want to continue to undergird her, support her, and she loves the Lord. She's a woman of faith, a woman of God. I mean, I can see her speaking on different platforms and in the pulpit as she continues forward in her life. But tell me, Brianna, tell me about your talent. Tell the people what you did last at the pageant as you competed. What was your talent again, and how did you? What made you do what you did? So explain to them what you did with your talent in the pageant.
So my talent for the pageant was a dramatic monologue, which that has been something that I have been doing since. Oh my goodness, I was yay high. I had those old fashioned parents that are like, if there's an Easter program or a Christmas program or a Black History program, you're gonna speak in it. And even if they would give me like they would give you speeches according to your age, and then my mother would always add like two extra stanzas on top of it, and she's
Yeah,
like,
Mama.
and, and you better memorize it, and you better say it with feeling, and you better do it right. And so that's been something that I have been doing since forever, since I could realize, and that's one of my favorite talents. I always say I coined this that I'm born a mouthpiece.
Mm.
And so that's for various different aspects of my life. But my speaking gift is something I've relied heavily on. It's been something that I've incorporated into everything I've ever done. And I get to tell my story, or I get to impart in people using my most powerful tool, according to myself. But using that tool just to impart. And so when I chose my talent for last year, I mean, I do sing, but I just don't find myself to be that extravagant of a singer. And I do praise dance, but I don't think I'm that extravagant. I think one of my greatest gifts God has given me is my mouthpiece. And so when I chose that talent, I just really wanted to speak to speak. Sometimes you have to speak to yourself while also
Mm.
speaking to others, and
Yes,
kind of speak to where I wanted to go.
yes.
Sometimes you may not always see where you want to go. You may not always feel like you're going to reach where you want to go. But I find myself having to speak
Mm.
to where I want to go. I just speak what I need to get out so I can
Mm.
really just see it. I do more of that on my blog as well. So I do a little
Yeah.
more writing and stuff on my blog as well. They really just testify to where I want to go and what God's doing.
Wow. So, and as you're talking, I'm just like, that's why there's going to be a book. There's no question about it, because that's where that's where all your words go. So this book is going to help those that are not only in the industry, but this book is also going to help women in general. And someone told me one time, and I tell this to you on broadcast, on air, don't be afraid of their faces. Whatever revelation the Lord gives you for the book in terms of helping another person, whether they're older than you or younger than you release it. You release the will of the Lord, because that's how he knows he can trust you, and he can continue to take you from glory to glory, higher and higher. So I think that's beautiful. I'm excited about that book just because of what you just said. So have you felt in this season pressure to feel like you have to succeed till the end? Is there a lot of pressure on you that I've got to succeed. I've got to, make this right. I've got to be on top. I got this crown now. This is my life. Everyone knows me. Have you felt that before? And if you have not, how do you move forward with the crown on your head? Help another sister that's watching, whether she's been in the pageant industry, she wants to go, or if there's a mama watching.
I've always felt that pressure to succeed. Um, So I'm not feeling it. Well, I'm feeling it super heavy in certain areas of my life. Really, just the season that God has me in, and what He has me preparing myself for. But I mean, just stay true to who you are, first and foremost, and then allow God to do the rest. Sometimes we want to take our success into our own hands. And I'm
Mm.
not saying don't have ambition, but what I'm saying is make sure that your steps are ordered by the Lord. Make sure that you're in His will concerning your success. And it might not always look like what other people think it may look like. You know, a lot of people may think it's just showing up to a whole bunch of different events and making different appearances. But if those appearances have no value and you're just sitting there
Come
with a
on.
crown on your head,
Ooh,
there's
come
no
on.
success in that. And so even though I haven't
Mm.
done just a bucket load of appearances,
Right.
I've gotten much value out of the small amount of appearances I've in, and to me, that makes me successful. Of course, I always feel the push to even be even more successful and reach even more people, but that's just a natural. That's a natural pull, and you'll always have that pull, even when the crown is gone. You,
Right.
no one can ever take away the fact that you wear a crown. And you'll
Right.
always be that queen, even though you're not the
Mm.
reigning queen. You'll
Right.
always be that queen, and you'll always be a queen. So that
Right.
there'll be a constant pull on you to succeed and strive. So don't feel like you just have to do it during your reign. This is not just a temporary
Right.
thing. It's not a temporary crown for me. Like, this is my life. This is my lifestyle. This is what I was born to do, and I'm going to do it.
Right. That's excellent. I love that. And what you just said, what came to my spirit was the crown will expose who you are. The crown will expose who you are, meaning that when you wear it, that should not be how you determine your value. So those of you that are listening and watching tonight, and hearing about, just some of the nuggets in terms of being a reigning queen for the nation and just the pageant industry itself, and just in general as we are developing and growing as boss women. And I had to coin that with Day. I had to say that on this broadcast. Day Edwards knows what I'm talking about. But it's so important that we understand that it doesn't determine our value, like you said, with or without it. And it'll test when this is all said and done. What are you still doing, and what's going on? And I do understand some people step into the arena to help themselves for whatever it may be, the self-esteem, for healing, like we talked about earlier, for talent, for exposure. There's so many things, but we have to remember, if that crown gets placed on our head, what will we do then? And so I believe that God looks at that. I don't care if you're a secular pageant or you're a gospel pageant, a spiritual pageant, whatever. I still believe that God looks at that to see if that crown gets on your head, how are you going to carry that?
And how are you going to bring me glory from your crown?
And how are you going to bring me glory from your crown? Right. So that I think that determines a lot. It's beautiful what you just said, and even talking about the appearances. Sometimes there might not be an appearance for 2 or 3 months. Right now, we're in a pandemic, so to speak. Don't nobody want to come face to face right now. Okay, so it may not be as easy, versus something being virtual. And so, how do you handle that? How creative do you get? What do you think about? Because I think at the end of the day, just what he's doing with you, Bree, is that it's also the launching pad, and it is the grooming pad. It is the training ground. So that way, when this is all said and done, you'll be able to shine in another level of where God's taking you, because you went ahead and you still appreciated where God has you, even when it wasn't many people around. You still were grateful. You still were appreciative. You didn't. If there wasn't an appearance, you still did what you had to do, and you still glorify God. And I think when God sees that we are appreciative of those waiting seasons, I've just heard that phrase so much this month. That waiting season, how we handle the waiting season, I think determines a lot for when we come out of that season. I think that's beautiful. Definitely, there's a cost for the crown. I think we can both say that there's a cost for the
Amen.
crown. It's not just, we wearing it and we got our sash and we're having fun and we're doing pictures and everything. There's so much more. If there is a nugget that you could take away or in terms of doing something different, of how you've competed, not just for your present reign, maybe your past reign, is there a nugget that you could do different? What different would you do in competing for the titles that you have competed for?
Oh,
She's
what
like,
different would I do?
everything.
I mean, of course, you always see areas where you can grow and, of course, improve. As far as what I would do different, I would keep my talent the same.
Okay.
I would,
Preparation the same.
right. I guess just really work on fine tuning, of course, my interview skills and fine tuning, depending upon which sectors I may or may not end up crossing over, just fine tuning my presentation on stage.
Right. That's good.
So, of course, just anything to make me grow, but I will stay true to my talent, and I will stay true to always making sure that I am who I am.
Right.
And I think
Right.
sometimes that's what sets me apart because I'm not like other quote unquote pageant girls.
Right.
My mind's not the same as other quote unquote pageant girls. So just staying true to who I am. A lot of times people don't expect the church girl to be the pageant girl,
Right.
but they're not mutually
Good.
exclusive. And I will be both, and that'll have to be who I am. And that's about it.
Right. Because there's a standard that we still have to uphold when we walk into that arena. And like you said earlier, you have to be careful you don't get sucked into being someone else and be like, wait a minute, who am I?
Right.
It's going to cost a lot. And it's very easy to slip into that position if we're not careful. So I'm about to wrap up some of this, but I want to have you just share a final nugget of whatever's on your heart and mind. But I do want you also to address, just in general, if there is a young lady or an older lady that is having some concerns with her self-esteem. Maybe she feels how you felt in terms of, I don't have the image of a queen. Or maybe she's just feeling that she doesn't have the tools necessary for thriving of whatever she's called to do in life, whatever it is. Maybe she needs healing somewhere. Maybe there's something that she's on her mind too, like it was on your mind before you ever competed, about having the concerns you had growing up, etc. What final word could you share with them, or what could you tell them to do in having those thoughts?
In regards to building your self-esteem, I would say submit to the process of healing.
That's awesome.
Understand that you need healing, and then submit to the process of healing. And personally, I really struggle with submitting to that process because it's not an easy
Oh
process.
my God.
And it's
Yeah.
not, you would think that healing would be like a pain-free process, but it's not.
It's not.
Healing's not pain-free.
It's
It's once you
not.
become whole and once you become healed that it's kind of
Right.
pain-free, but the actual process of healing is not pain-free. So submit to the process. I will also say understand that your brokenness has an assignment.
Ah, excellent.
And I know it's very easy sometimes to get caught up in, I'm broken in this area, or I feel this way, or I'm down in this
Yeah.
area, I'm hurt this way, I've been hurt this way, done this way.
Yeah.
But having to understand, once I finally understood that my brokenness had an assignment
Woo,
and
come
that it was
on.
prophesying to my future, it
Yes.
was a little bit easier to submit to that process of healing. Okay, you
Yeah.
broke me. Okay, cool.
Mm.
But why was I broken? God doesn't just do something to do something. He does
Right.
it for a greater purpose. And so
Right.
if I believe that I'm in his will and I believe that all things are going to work together for my good because I love him and I call according to his purpose, then I
Right.
have to understand that my brokenness has an assignment.
That's
And when you
awesome.
understand that your brokenness has an assignment, you won't just look at it like brokenness, but you'll look at it like the stepping stone to the next level, the stepping stone to your purpose, or the stepping stone to your passion. I will also say, which is something I'm doing right now, investing into your whole self.
Ah, beautiful.
So invest into your mental self,
Mm.
your emotional self, your physical self, and your spiritual self. And once you begin
Right.
to invest into your whole self, you will find yourself becoming whole and you will find yourself becoming
Mm.
healed. And so once you can actually deal with those parts of yourself and invest into yourself, now it seems like self-love is a trend, but self-love isn't
Mm.
just a trend, and it's not just
Right.
going out with yourself. It's
That's right.
coming face to face with yourself sometimes, coming face to face with the ugly parts of yourself that you might not want to deal with. But
Yeah.
accept those ugly parts and actually invest into your whole self. How am I going to invest into myself spiritually in this season? How am I going to invest into myself physically in this season? Not because, okay, I think I might be fat. No, I want to be healthy, or I want to
Right.
add years to my life, or how am
Yeah.
I investing into my mental self? How am I investing into my emotional self? So investing into your whole self. Those had to be my. One more nugget.
That's good.
Also, also understand that you have to be in a proper position to receive from God.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's good.
allow God to place you in that position. I think sometimes that God is trying to give us something, and I'm talking from experience,
Come
but
on.
and I'm talking from my season. But
Yes.
sometimes God is trying to give you something, get you something, and you're not in the proper position to receive it. So open
That's it.
yourself up to be in the proper position to receive from God what He is trying to give to you.
That's it. That's excellent. I have to clap on that. That's excellent. That's excellent. Listen, family, if you were just listening, you were hearing some nuggets, some final nuggets from the voice of our 2019 Miss Black and Natural National. Brianna, we are so happy about what what you've accomplished. We're happy about what you're doing. I'm excited about your future. You surely are. You are the crown. I just have to say that. And whether you have it on or you are the crown, you are standing the test of time. You're still pushing forward. You're transparent. You're encouraging. And when I say young and old will be and are inspired by you, it shall and it will continue.
Amen.
And those of you that are listening and watching, I encourage you just to send up a prayer of covering and love for this woman of God as she continues to use these young years as a testimony, even as she moves into her master's degree of public health. And as she has completed that, wherever God sends and takes her, that she'll continue to be that bright light and be able to put spiritual crowns on other women's heads. Amen. That need to be encouraged, that need to be edified and lifted up out of a place where they feel that there's no way out. If you need someone that needs to even hear this light but impactful broadcast tonight, I encourage you to have them replay tonight's broadcast, and I'll still be sharing out other links for it within the next 7 days on other platforms to listen. But we all need to that continual encouragement. And just like she said, self-care is not a trend. And it really shouldn't have started with some people during the pandemic, but it did. It's self-care. No, that's what we're supposed to do. Like you just said, come face to face. Everything you just said was excellent. So bravo and congratulations for winning the title. And we're excited to see you flourish in the years to come and to see you on pulpits and platforms and to see and read the book that you're going to be writing that's already been in your spirit before anybody ever brought it up. I'm excited about that. You've done an awesome job. And so I just give you kudos for that.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight.
You're so welcome. And we'll have to have you back again so we can see, we got to have the comeback. We got to see, okay, after the season is over. Yeah, after the crown, what's been going on, what's happening, and how God's still moving in your life. So we definitely want to bring you back on the broadcast for that. Listen, everyone that is just tuning in, we're about to wrap up our show tonight. I want to just give you a quick reminder to be a guest on the show. Just send me an email at Sharita Lovelace or Sharita Lovelace Ministries at gmail.com and share your story. We definitely want you on. If you want to advertise, definitely send an email as well so that we can get your product out. Again, register for Neology, neology.live. And also, I am just promoting my awesome sisters Mary Kay products because I have been using them for the last couple of weeks, and I love. And if I don't love it, I don't talk about it. So definitely send Jackie a text message for time purposes, 678-939-6688. And if you want to know what I actually did, please send me a private message. I can share with you what I did, what I got, and how it's affecting me in a beautiful way. Okay, in a great way. Again, we are excited for all the graduates of 2020. Again, kudos to Brianna for having her master's this year and just taking time out of her Memorial Day to come on the Triumphant Show. Everybody, we just want to make sure that you have a good night tonight. We want to make sure that you are blessed beyond measure. So I speak blessings over you. I pray that you've received something tonight that will encourage you or somebody that you know, even if it's just one nugget, just something you can take that will be planted into your spirit that can grow and groom according to the will of God. So God bless you, and we're going to see you again next week. Same time, we have another triumphant guest that's coming on the show. Make sure you follow Brianna. How can they follow you, book you for past, present, future, whatever? Give them your information because we want to make sure that people can keep up with you.
Okay, you can follow me on Facebook at Brianna Brishe McField, and you can also follow me on Instagram at crowned_curvy. And you can email me at briannabrishe@yahoo.com for any booking information, or just private message me on Facebook or Instagram.
Fantastic. So listen, if you all need a speaker, Someone just to share or whatever it is, God will speak to you in the spirit. We back her 100%. Thank you, Day Edwards, for all you do for all the queens for the Miss Black and Natural pageant. It has been an honor to be working with that awesome organization and an honor to be here with the reigning queen 2019-2020. So we will see you all next week, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Continue to follow me, like, and share at Sharita Lovelace Ministries on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. God bless you. I love you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.